I don't think I got a method with the scissors. I got
Do
you.
you with these scissors? You think?
Yeah, not
You haven't
now,
seen
but
it though, Derek.
oh, I haven't.
You haven't
Okay,
seen it.
all right.
You did a good job.
Yeah, it is. It's in there.
Somebody pushed it all the way back.
I think it broke in it.
It
Oh,
broke
yeah,
in
no,
it.
So
that's
he doesn't. There's nothing to grasp.
Got you.
So
I thought
think
sometimes
Travis would have to like open the board.
like one. I thought it was like this is stuck in there.
No.
Okay. No.
It's
All right.
skinny enough you could get. It's got to be really micro skinny.
Got you. 30 seconds.
Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are parked correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My cousin Crystal, Judge Powell, went to Villanova Law.
Okay.
Very nice. I just got accepted.
Hey, man, yeah.
Program has been paid for by my Philly lawyer.
Huh? Yeah. Do what he does.
Good morning. Court Radio is
Stand by.
now in session. Call 215-227-2727. When you've got legal questions, we've got the answers. This is Court Radio. And now here's your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Dean Weitzman, your host every Saturday morning right here on 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 1079.
Yeah, you got to pick up the slack a little bit there, Manny
A
Manuel.
little bit. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. We got the legal out of the way. Folks, we're here. We're live. We're in the studio, ready to take your calls. Give us a call at 215-227-2727, the number for all things legal.
Morning, D.
Good morning, Manuel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. If you've got a legal issue you've been sitting on for a week or more and you want us to try to tackle it, give us a call, 215-227-2727.
It is what now, the second day of spring? Right?
Okay.
So now the weather breaks, more folks are driving, out there on the road doing things. In your experience, do things pick up in springtime?
Yes, we'll see some more accidents,
Right.
unfortunately. There was a very, very bad accident on I-95 last night.
Ooh.
Car went over the side rail and crashed onto the street below, and there's a couple fatalities.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, our condolences to the families who are suffering with that right now. Yeah, it is inevitable. I was just talking to a couple of friends who, they're fairly sharp people, and they were showing me their insurance policies on their phone, and said, "Is it, do we have what we need to have?" And one of them had I don't know, I think it was $50,000 in uninsured and underinsured motorists. And I said, no. I said, if you go out of the house and you're involved in a serious accident, you're not able to work, are you happy with walking away with $50,000? Because that's all you know for sure you're going to walk away with.
Right.
You could be hit by somebody who has no insurance or insufficient coverage, and you could have a catastrophic injury. You could be looking at months or years of rehab, medical bills, and you're going to have a $50,000 pot that you're going to be able to pull from and nothing more.
That's going to be gone in a couple of months.
And, the funny thing is he was paying I want to say somewhere around $38 every 6 months for his uninsured motorist coverage. To double it, triple it, quadruple it, it's only going to go up a little bit. It doesn't. You pay most of your money for the basic policy, and as you add coverage to the policy, it goes up a little, but not nearly as much as you might think.
I've been there. I mean, and I know the mindset. I'm trying to save money. I only get the basic blah blah blah. That's all I need. I just gotta be covered a little bit. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm a good driver, blah. You never know.
No, you don't. It's out of your hands. I mean, and especially in this world we're living in, somebody's sitting there texting on the phone and their eyes are down at their kneecaps. And before you know it, their car is in the back of your seat, and so there's nothing you could do about that. There's no planning. You can't be a defensive driver in that circumstance.
Nope.
It's over. So anyway, yeah, most people don't know what they have, and that was the lesson. He said, I don't know what I have. You're paying thousands of dollars a year for something that you don't even know what's in it. And, at least, folks, take the moment to look at your policy and to understand what you have and maybe what you don't have. If you have questions about that, you can always email me at dean@myphillylawyer.com, and I'd be happy to help you.
I was getting ready to say that. Dean will go over your policy with you. He enjoys this. He will go over every page, every item.
Insurance companies don't want you to know that you don't have the right coverage. Because they're as they layer on more coverages, their exposure goes up significantly, and they don't have a lot of money that they're collecting for it. So they want you to buy a policy that has very little coverage, just enough to be legal.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work. But anyway, 215-227-2727. We've got a special guest in the studio today, Manuel.
Yeah, we do, man. I'm impressed. We actually got him.
Many years ago, I was working with Alpha Kappa Alpha, the sisters, and they said, it would be really special if you could do a scholarship for one of our I don't even know what they call them, the junior sisters.
I have no idea.
The high school sisters. There's like a group that is in high school, so that when they're moving into college,
Somebody will call and tell us.
Yeah, they're already.
Yeah, we all got that look like we should know, but we don't quite. Yeah.
And then they expanded it to the males, the boys. So
The one with the AKAs did this.
Yes.
Okay.
And so for many years, My Philly Lawyer has sponsored a scholarship, and as we grew, so did the scholarships grow, so that we have at all times 4 scholarship recipients who are in various stages of college. And so each year they send me a packet of resumes and information regarding that year's class. And the young man sitting to my left and to your right, Dean Millard.
Great name.
Yes. Was the recipient 4 years ago. So you've been collecting on the My Philly Lawyer Scholarship now, Dean, throughout your college career.
That's right.
Okay, so let's explain. Dean, you're a student at Villanova University. Right. Great school, just down the street from my house, actually. And I tell my kids that they don't want to go too far away to school. I said, well, there's a really great school for you if you're not looking to go too far away. And it's a beautiful campus.
Yep.
Really.
Yes, it is.
Did you live on campus?
All 4 years. I've been very fortunate. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Dean Millard. I'm a senior at Villanova, as Dean said. And I've had the pleasure of living on Villanova's campus all 4 years.
On the main line.
On the main line. Living on campus at Villanova is very highly coveted. A lot of students, it's a strong community, and students want to be on campus. The campus involvement, the pride of going there, the athletics, I'm sure as you know, the men's and women's basketball programs, very, very well known. So in your 4th year, which I'm in now, it's a senior lottery, and I was fortunate to win the senior lottery. So I've been on campus kind of working my way up from, communal, traditional style dorms to now apartment style living.
And what's your focus of your education? What's your majors in Villanova?
Certainly. So I'm majoring in political science and with a minor in communication. So I think pairing the two has really allowed me to be very versatile. And again, I want to thank you, Dean, for the wonderful opportunity to be a recurring scholarship recipient.
You're also you're very humble. You're the president of the student body.
Yes, sir.
How did that happen? How'd you get into politics in school?
Definitely. It starts with people. I'm really passionate about people, and people are my passion. Like I said, just interchangeable between the two. So being very service oriented, being a leader, someone that is recognized as a leader, being a team player, and really just being an advocate for those who may feel like they can't advocate for themselves. I've always taken a liking to people In school, when I was younger, history was always my favorite subject, and I love to write. So I think being able to pair the two with my speaking ability and growing. And also, too, just, in high school, I went to Germantown Academy after finishing in the Norristown Area School District. And I ran multiple times and was unsuccessful. But, through resilience and perseverance, I was able to say, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to bring people together, build bridges between people who may have different ideologies. And in my first year, I ran for a freshman senator position. I won. At the end of that year, I ran for a leadership position to represent the whole community for campus climate chair. I was selected for that. End of my sophomore year, I ran in a race for vice president, student body vice president. I was successful there, and I said, might as well go for it all and become the first black student body president in Villanova University history. So it's really about all of those that came before me and the many that will come after me.
You're like the Jackie Robinson of Villanova.
Man, listen.
Thank you.
It's really this. You really have a very humble spirit, but I'm picking up a vibe, man. We're gonna be hearing from this guy. Dean.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna be hearing from this young man.
I appreciate it.
Now, I didn't get involved into politics, and that's my thing. Like you, political science, communications, as well as some others in this room, till I was 32.
Okay.
What got you interested at the young age that you got interested in it?
Well, I'm certainly inspired by my peers, my generation, really making a difference and standing up when others may be a little bit more reserved or they may go along with the flow. But
Right.
my generation has really been one to advocate and take the lead and be at the forefront of the change. So looking at those around me, I said, why not me? Why not me?
And there was no particular individual or individuals, anybody's work or anything that you saw politically that inspired you? I mean, at a young age, a lot of folks are going, I don't see how that helps anything. But you saw something in it that you could make a difference or that could help you at a young age?
Definitely. I mean, seeing, politics aside, but seeing President Barack Obama, just class act, very composed and poised, personable. That was someone where I said, he's at the pinnacle of this industry and of this work.
Right.
And seeing someone like yourself who looks like you, who has similar experiences and similar background, being able to serve and represent at that level, very admirable and inspiring and really motivating me to say, why not me, like I said before.
Let's take a caller, and we're going to come back to Dean and get some more of his story as we go along. Line 3, Derek. Amin.
Amin.
I'm in here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Amin. What's happening in your world?
Well, let me just start off to say I don't have a attorney right now. Back in 24, May 12th, I was in a car accident up in the Northeast, Ashton and Willits Road. I'm sitting at a red light on Ashton, and this car comes around the corner and runs directly in front of me. Okay, now, there was a police officer that showed up, gave the young man a ticket and everything, and had my car towed and got a rental car. So I had the rental car for about 3 weeks. My wife was driving, and I'm in the passenger side, and this van, 14 or 15 passenger van, while we were sitting at a red light on Cotman Avenue, rear-ended the rental car.
Okay.
So what we found out that it was 2 female police officers in an unmarked car in back of that van. They got out, asked me, was I okay? I said no, I'm feeling a little dizzy. My wife, she said she was just upset and hysterical. But anyway, they asked the man that was driving for his license. He didn't have no paperwork. They locked him up right on the spot. So now, I got an attorney at that time, Simon & Simon, and what they found out that after about a week later, or maybe 2 weeks later, they said they can't represent me. So I'm like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Last time I checked, I have an excellent driving record. I have full coverage with uninsured and underinsured motorists. So they recommend me to someone else. By the way, your company too rejected me. Another attorney called me. Somebody called me, Simon and Simon. The first company was first lawyer was Martin and Martin. The second company was Simon and Simon. Now I had Simon and Simon for almost 9 months, and I just got a letter after 9 months going through therapy saying that they reject me.
Yeah,
They
something.
Yes.
Something is missing from the story. I'm not sure what it is at this point, but something is definitely amiss. You're describing an accident that is obviously not your fault. You're a passenger. You've claimed to have full tort on your auto policy, though it wouldn't matter. Let me just say that when we're in a when we're in a rental vehicle, even if we have limited tort at home, we're automatically full tort. So I'm hearing the proper tort threshold. I'm hearing you're not at fault. I'm hearing the driver of the vehicle that struck you may be uninsured because you talked about not having, he didn't have the proper paperwork. So I'm going to glean from that he may be uninsured. And you tell me that you have uninsured motorist. So I do not, that does not add up. There is something in the story that is missing, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'd be happy to look into it further for you. As I started the show, I gave out my email address. It's dean@myphillylawyer.com. And by the way, Simon & Simon doesn't refer cases to us. We don't take their cases. And there are other firms that have glommed onto the Philly thing. And so a lot of people that I come across think that they've been dealing with me, my Philly lawyer, but they're dealing with somebody else. So, again, I'm giving you the email address, dean@myphillylawyer. Send me an email. I will investigate it. I will. And, one of the things that I pride myself on is being able to educate my client and explain to my client why certain things are happening. And so I would never accept the fact that a client is being discharged from my firm, which happens occasionally, and the client doesn't understand why. That's the true crime here. You've been represented by a law firm. They tell you we can't represent you anymore. You should not have one iota of confusion as to why that is. That's disgraceful. You need a lawyer who can at least sit you down and explain to you what the limitations are on your claim, if you have any. And that is what you get when you come to My Philly Lawyer, period. Hard stop. I'm not a magician. If there's issues here that cannot be overcome, I'm going to explain to you why that is, and you're going to understand it before we part ways. So feel free to send me an email. I will investigate. I will bring you in. I will explain what's going on. And if you have a good claim, we're going to take it. If there's some problem with it, which I'm not seeing here, then I'm going to make sure that you understand why that is so that you can be smart about it and empowered. Thank you for calling Court Radio and take me up on my offer. Let me see an email from you, and we'll get to the bottom of it for you.
Sir,
okay.
Truth hurts, and it ticks some people off, but we'll set you free.
Listen, attorneys make mistakes all the time. I've taken files that attorneys have closed and made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I don't take the word of another attorney that there's no claim there. I will do my own due diligence.
Yeah.
I could have retired on the monies made on cases that were turned down. Not that long ago, we took a case. It was a slip and fall case that 2 other law firms had turned down. 2, not 1, 2. And we resolved that claim for $1 million about 12 months after the client became our client.
A guy comes to you. You know it's been turned down twice. Is that a red flag for a guy, any law firm? Oh, you've been turned down twice. Why bother? Is that normally a red flag?
It is a red flag, but I still want to know. I have to understand the facts of the case, the law of the case, and understand what the thinking was of the other law firm. And sometimes I don't agree with it. Okay. And in that case that I just described, that's what happened. So, I mean, people are unfortunately they're not savvy in the law. They don't understand why certain things happen, and sometimes there's not a good reason other than the fact that it's the law. And we may disagree with it, but you're bound by the law of the land.
The law is the only thing saving us all right now at this moment, and we are in the city where it all began in this country. This is the birthplace of it all. We got a young man in the studio, Dean. I got a feeling law is in his future.
When did you? We're in the studio with Dean Millard. Dean is a recipient of a My Philly Lawyer college scholarship. When did you decide the law was for you?
It's a great question. I think looking at career paths, you come into college, and I came into college, and the world is so vast, and I had so many different interests, right? I wanted to help people in some capacity, so I'm like, maybe I should be a doctor. But I don't like to see people in pain. I said, maybe I should go into business and get involved in that world. So I tried out microeconomics and some other classes. But I really went back to my passions of reading and writing and speaking and advocacy and leadership. So really in my first year at Villanova, I joined the Black Pre-Law Student Association and really got exposed to the legal industry, visiting different law schools in Washington, D.C., New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, going to national Black pre-law conferences and seeing the successful lawyers who look like me. And I think when you see people that look like you in these positions, you say, this is attainable. This is something that I can do. So really that stood out to me. And that was when I decided this is something that it's not just a 4-year commitment, but it's a 40-plus year commitment and a way to serve.
Dean, when you were coming up, the term the Philadelphia lawyer had some cachet about it. I mean, Philadelphia lawyers were known to be, hey, is it still like that? Or do you still feel that, Dean, that the term, that the being a Philadelphia lawyer, does it still have that to it around the country or in schools or anywhere? I
think it definitely does. Philadelphia, as a city, the swagger that we have and the respect that we garner from the nation and from the world, I think
it's still there.
It's unparalleled. Okay. It's incomparable.
One of the greatest attributes of a successful trial lawyer is exactly what you said, perseverance. You may try a case, you may try 2 cases or 3 cases and don't get the result you had hoped to get. But you must learn from each of those opportunities to better your skills, to become a better advocate for your client, and to learn from the jury and to improve your own, presentation. And in that sense, what you did to get into politics from a student body standpoint is exactly the type of energy you need to bring to the law.
Definitely.
215-227-2727, the number for all things legal in Philly. Let's talk to Greg on line 1, Derek.
Morning, Greg.
Oh, Greg. Greg going once and twice. Greg is gone.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
You have a good question, did you?
Greg says he's got a real estate issue. He helped his brother save his home from foreclosure. Greg's name is now on the deed, and the brother wants Greg's name removed.
And Greg doesn't want to do that because Greg put a lot of money into the house that he helped save.
Yeah.
So
and Greg doesn't have to do anything other than remain on the deed. The brother cannot have him removed from the deed without Greg's agreement to do that. And so, Greg, you would stay on the deed if the house was ever sold. Then, depending on how the deed is titled, is it, Greg and brother as tenants in common? Then they presume that you have a 50% interest.
Brother's name is not on it at all. It is Greg and wife who helped to save brother's home.
Greg and Greg's wife, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
So Greg's the owner of the house at this
It's Greg's
point.
house.
much,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Greg's house. And that's the end of that story. I mean,
Well done, Dean.
when a brother asks for help, there's always a caveat.
Yes. Yes.
In any event, do you have brothers and sisters, Dean?
I'm an only child.
Lucky
Hey.
you. Lucky you.
Welcome to the club.
It's interesting because I tell people I'm an only child. They're like, "Wow, you don't strike me as an only child."
Yeah,
You're
and
not.
then they think you're spoiled. They'll
Right.
say that. And
Right.
Not so.
Are you the first in your family to go to college?
I'm not the first in my family to go to college. I'm the first in my family to apply to law school. So I will be a first-generation law student.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, I was a first-generation college and law student. And so that opened some doors. I got some DEI help on that.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Diversity,
Yes.
equity, and inclusion. Even
yes, I was included.
then. That inclusion matters. Look at you now, though.
Temple had a program at the time. I don't know if they still do. Probably not under the current administration.
It's probably gone now.
But they kind of looked beyond the hard, cold numbers for those students who were the first in their family to go to college and go to
I
law
remember
school.
those days. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that definitely helped. Go ahead.
What did you take away? You go to law school. You finally start practicing law. Everything in theory, theoretically, in class and everything. When you finally were doing it, was there a shock? What did you?
Well, you really don't learn in law school the laws as they pertain to the area you're going to practice in the jurisdiction that you're going to practice. You learn the bigger laws like the Supreme Court precedents that guide the lower courts, but each state has the ability to enact and does enact their own civil laws. So me wanting to go into representing injured people in auto accidents and slip and falls and then eventually mass torts, that those claims arise under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And you do not learn that at all in law school. So you have to learn the laws of the area you're practicing in when you get out. And you do that through the practice, through representing clients in cases that those laws are those cases are impacted by those laws. So you really are learning as
you
you
go. But you learn how it really works.
You
when
learn
you get out
how
in the real world.
in law school. You learn how to learn. You learn how to learn. You learn where to go to get the answers.
Right.
And you learn how the system works to arrive at a decision. Especially at Temple, there was a huge, even back then, trial advocacy program, and so I was representing people in in municipal court, civil and criminal, before I was a lawyer under the guidance of another lawyer.
Dean, now think about it. I'm gonna call you the sequel, Dean.
Okay.
Think about this for a second, really. Here you are, this Philly kid from the OC, Oxford Circle.
Yep.
Got into a little mishap, turn your life around, go to Philly schools, Philly College, practice law in Philly. You've been here all your life. You are akin to a kid growing up in school playing basketball at a top high school and then going playing for the Sixers and winning the title. That's what pretty much you've done. You're a success. And along the way, the relationships you formed mattered to this
Absolutely.
day.
Yes, yes. In fact, some of the judges in the Court of Common Pleas started out as my law clerks.
Imagine that.
So, you definitely, if you're going to practice in this city, having grown up here, having made my roots here from the very beginning, is an important element to what I offer a client who comes to me today. Not only that, but just being who I am and what I do. I come across the people, the defense attorneys, the adjusters who are going to put money on the file over and over again. And so
They know you.
Yeah. And they know that I'm not going to put forth a claim that I don't believe in.
That's right.
So, there's a certain amount of credibility that I've developed that inures to the benefit of my clients.
And I say all that to say that what we always say, relationships matter.
Yes.
They really do.
This is our opportunity to talk to Dean Millard, who is a student at Villanova University and is planning to go on to law school. We're going to talk a little bit more about what steps you're taking to get yourself ready for law school. But Dean is the recipient of the My Philly Lawyer Scholarship, and he's made us proud. He's a beautiful example of what giving back can mean to the community.
This is the paycheck right here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're up against the break. We're going to have our sponsors have a moment of your time. We'll be back in 2 minutes, but if you have legal issues, give us a call at 215-227-2727.
A very wise man once said to me,
We
we're still on golf game, college degree will get you anywhere in the world.
Okay, so we are live
Well, once I get over this injury, I'd
on
love to
where?
come to
YouTube Live.
Type in RNB Philly in the search bar, should pop right up.
All right, there you go. Type in RNB Philly in the search bar, and you should be able to access our live feed today. Welcome to the show, guys. There's Dean Millard in person. Dean, Dean's on camera 3.
Yes, sir.
You're at camera 2.
I don't know where I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Finally.
You know what? If folks want to post a question on the live feed, I wonder if we could see those questions and answer them.
You know what? Let me take a look over here at his monitor, see what he's looking at, and I'll let you know. The answer right now will be no. This is the board. Nope. Folks, don't pay attention to the alcohol in the background.
45 seconds. 45 seconds.
It's a word. We're live right now.
Yes.
Nice.
We are live.
Very great.
Interesting. So this is the first live broadcast we did.
Okay.
In a
30
long
seconds.
time.
Okay. Very nice.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good, good, good. Good to see you too. All is well? Yeah. Good to see you. How's your mom? She's doing well. Good. What's wrong? What happened to your arm?
15. Stand by.
Yell at my thumb.
Who?
15 seconds.
Hmm? Yep.
Good to see you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the show. I'm Dean Weitzman, your host, every Saturday morning right here on 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 1079.
That's the place to be on Saturday mornings if you want a little legal entertainment and perhaps some education. Today we are joined in the studio with Dean Millard. Dean is, were you an AKA teen? Is that the proper term?
Actually, I wasn't. You know, the scholarship was referred to me, and like you just said, you know, when you see an opportunity, you have to go get it.
That's right.
And when there's an opportunity to expand your network and learn from others who have come before you, I think it's very important to take advantage of that. So just putting myself out there, you know, embracing different challenges and embracing new opportunities as well has really served me well, and I'm very grateful for everything that I've been blessed with.
Man, you're a blessing. Dean took a chance, made an investment, and man, has that investment paid off big time.
You know,
Yes, sure has.
yeah, he kind of had a one-up on everybody else in his class because of his name. You know?
Dean,
Thank you.
not Millard.
No, not Millard. I saw that Dean name, and I said,
DEI.
got to give this guy a shot.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Served me well. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
there's not a lot of deans. You know,
There aren't.
Yeah.
That's why I said this is rare for me, being next to another
When's your
dean.
birthday?
April 26th.
It's coming up,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we have callers, so we're going to take some calls as well, Dean. Okay.
Great.
Derek is. By the way, I haven't
Yeah,
even
you didn't even-
acknowledged. Derek is tickling the
used to it.
keys. Derek,
You literally
big-
just tickled them.
the big Derek Sampson, who I want to just say, when I cut my teeth in this business, when I started hosting my court radio, Derek was my original board op.
Stop.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. He taught me everything I needed to know. Him and E.
He's
And,
Stephen Collins. Amen. Yeah.
We were in those 3 studios ago, but you were always a calming force for me on a crazy. Because in the beginning, it's all new. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't know how to do it. But he would always crack a joke, and it would be calm me down and get me focused.
He's still the same way.
yeah.
That's the Samson groove.
Yeah. now,
Samson.
Derek, he won't tell you, but he entrusted a claim to me. He's a client of the firm as well, so there's a little conflict of interest now. I noticed my mic is a little bumped up, with Derek.
You did notice that.
Yeah.
All the way.
To the top.
So, Derek, tell listeners, you and I met at the office on Thursday to settle up your claim.
Yeah.
We won't say, the details. It's
Right.
confidential. But
I'll share some, but go ahead.
what was
Really?
your,
You'll
what was,
share some?
What was your impression?
Beautiful office.
Yeah.
Beautiful office. I now understand the term, honey, I'll be working late. I'm going to stay at the office. Like,
is-
even the
it is-
front
it
was
is a
very
great
welcoming.
isn't
But
it
then when
great?
I went into Dean's office, the view, and I think this 3rd floor off of City Line Avenue is beautiful. No, Dean can see the entire city from his corner office. Is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
The details I do want to mention, back to the whole full tort, no tort. When you go on your insurance thing and you're getting insurance, check all the boxes. Treat yourself. It is so worth it. Like he said, it's a few. I mean, if you can add extra toppings and the
At Friendlies.
wherever, and you're ordering your pizza in the app, and it's like, do you want to add wings? Do you want to add brisket?
Okay.
The same thing when you're getting it. Do you want to add full? Yes, uninsured all the way to do
Give it
it.
to me.
Do it all. Treat yourself. Yes.
Trained him well,
yeah.
Obi-Wan.
I like the food analogy.
Yeah,
I haven't had breakfast, but yeah.
Is it you want to steal that, Mr. Nuggeting?
Yeah, I will. Nuggeting. That's
Nuggeting, yeah.
Pound nuggeting. We created a word.
So add some sprinkles.
It's the act of bestowing good information in small bites.
Yes,
Nuggeting.
absolutely.
We nugget here.
And despite over 15 years of knowing you, being in the office for the first time, seeing everything, I saw boxes, cases of My Philly Lawyer pens and book bags and T-shirts. Wasn't offered anything but a handshake.
Oh, wow.
Goodbye. I still love Dean.
It took a
I
turn.
still.
Wow.
Drama.
Do we have theme for that? Dun, 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 dun. My
Can we
God.
get to your case? You remember that? That's why we got here?
Yeah, have a couple dollars?
Your case. Like,
Oh.
that experience.
How was that? The whole experience?
Working with they took care of everything. Call
Okay.
215-227-27. Call. That's the number. I'm telling you. Check all the boxes when you're getting your insurance. Trust Dean with everything.
That is
you will
true.
be fine.
You were a good client though, because you had a lot of it helps to have a relationship with your lawyer.
Yeah.
It's an important relationship, and you have to have faith and trust that your lawyer has your back, and then you do what you need to do to get better to the best of your ability, and we will handle everything else.
Yeah.
That's important, though.
And yeah,
You got to hear from you. And how many times have people call and said they don't hear from their attorney? They can't find them.
It's a common problem.
Yeah.
And no less because of this whole, we're not working from the office kind of mentality. So you don't even know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And half the people who advertise on radio in the Philadelphia market, they're not even here.
Nope.
They're in Florida. They're in Arizona, and they spin a wheel. And when your case comes in, they hand it to some other lawyer in that's got boots on the ground. You don't know who that person is or what their competency level is. And you went with an advertiser, but
Very loud advertiser.
Yeah.
We have a saying in the game: the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room.
there you go.
And never not necessarily the best.
So anyway, Derek, let's pick up on line 3. We got Nicole on the phone. Nicole, welcome to Court Radio.
Morning, Nicole.
Hi, good morning. And I just wanted to say, turned on the radio, and I recognized that name, Dean Millard. I taught him in 3rd grade at Cole Manor Elementary School in Norristown Area School District.
Yes, I remember.
And I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
Look at that,
Nicole, man, that's incredible. How does it feel to have shepherded? 3rd grade's an important grade too. You know, you start really learning in 3rd grade, and the teachers start getting a little bit more serious. You know,
Way beyond the sandbox.
Yeah. How does it feel to have somebody who's really accomplished as much as Dean has in such a short time?
It's really amazing. However, I have to say, when he was in 3rd grade, I taught him specifically math and science. You could see that he was going to really have his mark in the future. He was very charismatic, very inquisitive, friendly, just a real overall good young person. And to say I'm not surprised of his success, that's really what I expected. I knew he would grow up and get out into the world and make a difference. And
Thank
so
you
it's
so
just
much,
really
Nicole.
a pleasure.
Thank you, Miss Harmon. I
Good call,
appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah,
It's great to hear from you.
It's so nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
I'm so happy.
I know my voice sounds a little deeper than it did in 3rd grade.
Oh, it definitely lots of octaves.
All right,
I
have
hear
a
the bass.
great Saturday, Nicole. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Take care.
All
Bye
right,
now.
take care. Bye-bye.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that
This
was
is
a
special.
call.
Very
Good to
special.
hear.
Full
You
circle.
never know who's listening.
This is true, man.
Yeah.
Do you ever run into any of your old teachers
Or
or professors?
No.
When you had, because I still see some of my old high school teachers.
Really?
And
Do you recognize them?
absolutely. And there's still Miss Brown or Mr. I never go with the first name or anything. It's still, to this day, the deference is still there.
Yes,
Yeah. Doesn't
Nice.
change.
I agree.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. We got lots of callers. Let's talk to Dawn on line 4, Derek. Hi, Dawn. Welcome to Court Radio.
Morning, Don.
Hi, good morning.
So, what's up?
So I'm calling. I always listen on Saturdays mornings. So I'm calling this morning because I had a case with a lawyer in Philadelphia, and this case is almost 4 years now. So I've been staying in contact. This one particular time, I called and he told me that they were working on my case, so that was fine. So then I called another particular time, and he gave me a name to another lawyer and said this lawyer was working on my case. And then when I talked to that lawyer, he's going to tell me my case was closed because I only did therapy like 2 or 3 times. That is crazy because I did so much therapy, went to different doctors they had me go to. So that's why I'm calling, because I'm really upset by this.
Yeah, it sounds like you really weren't in the loop. I mean, if you're calling beyond the 2-year statute of limitations and they didn't notify you that they were closing your file, that could be a problem for them.
They tried, excuse me, sir, they tried to tell me that they sent a certified letter to my home. I never received a certified letter to my home.
You know, my heart breaks because that's what happens when you're dealing with these lawyers on advertising, and they don't have boots on the ground, they don't have a presence, and they don't really. You just never know who has your file. It's not the way it should be.
Right.
I
right,
mean,
and that's what happens.
well, it's too late for the case. It's 4 years. The defendant, who may have been at fault for causing your injury, is now off the hook. There may be maybe a claim for legal malpractice if you were not properly notified that your claim was being closed and they were going to abandon you. And so, but even that, you're getting close to probably a statute of limitations on the legal malpractice claim because it's now 2 years beyond the 2-year statute on the underlying claim. So I'm not sure, but I invite you to send some details to my email, dean@myphillylawyer.com. I'll be happy to look into it and see if anything possibly remains that could be helpful for your situation.
Okay, that would be greatly appreciated. So what would you like for me to send to your email?
Well, let's just start with you sending me dates of the accident, location, and who the attorneys were who represented you. You claim that you went to the doctor frequently. Do you have any information or records with regard to your medical treatment?
I might just do, because when I was at the doctor's and I was there for a while, I did ask them to give me a printout of the days that I had attended that thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I had moved, and I haven't been able to get into my stuff to see if I still had that paper, but I am going to look this week and go in there and try to see if I still had that paper.
All right. And whatever you can send me, the more information, the better, so I can get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for giving us a call, dear.
Thank you so much.
Have a great Saturday.
You.
Mm-hmm.
You too.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, Dean, what do you think about like these conversations I'm having with people? What is it? What's coming to mind here?
I see myself as a sponge in this situation because I just want to absorb as much as I can. I think, like you said, sometimes when you're the loudest in the room, you're the weakest in the room. And I really learned, it's no secret, I'm not shy, I'm a big extrovert, but I've learned over these years to focus on the listening part of communication.
Yeah.
To be more well-informed, to voice what it is that people need.
Another great aspect of a good trial attorney is listening, because so much can be learned from the information that somebody gives you.
Right.
And if you think that you have all the answers and you know what the story is, you close your mind to the possibilities that exist out there.
Right.
Listening is good. Perseverance and listening. Where do you want to attend law school? Do you have your number one pick?
Well, I'm still waiting on quite a few decisions. So I applied in the Philadelphia area, I applied in New Jersey, and I applied in D.C. So definitely staying regional and close to home, and in this market, these major markets of the law are most appealing to me.
Well, I'm not going to let that go. Where are you applying? Where have you applied?
So I applied to Villanova, Drexel, Temple, UPenn, Rutgers, both campuses, Georgetown, George Washington, American, Catholic, and Howard University.
You got to take a mortgage out just for the application fees.
Yes, they do add up. They do add up. But with the help of your scholarship and hopefully more scholarships for law school, I want to support my family. I'm just so thankful for my mother, Lynn, my father, Don, just giving me everything that I need to be successful and all the tools that I need in the toolbox, really just to make a difference and to increase my altitude in life. So any scholarship opportunity that's out there, if anyone's listening and there's anything I can apply for, please let me know. Like I said, I'm not shy and just really want to take it to the next level and increase my educational level.
Well, I'm going to extend an offer to you, Dean, that in between your first and second year of law school, you're going to need to clerk somewhere.
Right.
And
Here we
there's a
go.
position at My Philly Lawyer
Okay.
with your name on
I'm
it.
sorry, say that
Thank
again,
you.
Dean.
Thank you. Wow, that's incredible.
There's a position,
There's
the
a
clerk
position.
at your office.
Yes, yes. You're going to shadow us around and learn an awful lot in between the first and second year, and I welcome you to come
Thank you.
aboard.
man.
That's
Good
exceptional.
for
I
you.
really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I
Absorb
appreciate
it all, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else in your family in the field of law?
No, like I said, I'm a first in my family to even apply to law school. So this whole process, just a lot of information gathering, a lot of.
It was exciting times that summer before law school. I was reading all the books about the Supreme Court, and it was the first time. Unlike you've been a dedicated student throughout your educational career. I was a toad. I did not really invest myself. When I went to college, I had a full-time job working at a group home for developmentally disabled individuals. Is the proper term now. And I lived on site with them and managed the home and managed the staff. And so I was a commuter student. I went down to Temple, took my classes, and got back to work. And I didn't really, have an opportunity or invest myself into that process the way I should have. It wasn't until law school where my educational prowess finally developed. In the first year of law school, each professor could issue an award to the person in the class who distinguished themselves the most in their questions and in the learning process during class. Out of 8 classes, I got 6 Distinguished Classroom Performance Awards.
Hey, look at you,
incredible.
man.
Yeah,
So much for the toad.
I went from the toad to the prince.
Prince.
Yes.
Yes. Most.
You.
So but it was a wonderful experience. I think you're going to have a great experience in law school.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
What's the jump like from being in college where you're going on a campus where everyone's majoring in everything to when you're finally in a building where everyone's a law student?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well,
that jump?
first of all, the jump for me was, I was always able to do well enough to get by. I didn't have to invest myself. But when you get to law school, it's like all of the smartest people in every class you've been to are now in your class.
They're in your class. All of them.
And so I felt like I was the dumbest kid in the class,
Right.
which served me well because it made me serious, like a heart attack. I mean, I would come home every day and have to read 200-300 pages of material every day when I came home from school.
These are actual books
Yeah.
and paper
Yes.
and turning pages. And
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Highlighting and
Oh,
dissecting the case that we were studying and learning from that case the principles of the law that apply to that case and learning how to dissect a case, etc. And so, it was intense. The first year was crazy. The second year, they dumped more work on you because you knew what you were doing at that point, and it was just wild. But I was up for the game.
Okay.
I was up for the game. It was my thing, and I took off from there.
I think he's up for it.
Yeah, well, he's already
I'm
there.
ready to get to work.
He's wearing a blue sport coat, and
Yeah,
you
he's-
know.
The only thing missing, we got the golf game. We'll work on it. We got
Work in progress right now. Work in progress. So.
Yeah, he's got a basketball
Yeah,
injury.
what happened?
Yes.
By the way, give him my
So I'm very competitive.
Right.
I played.
Oh, really?
Yes,
a little
yes.
bit.
Played basketball and baseball in high school, and
Yeah.
play intramural basketball at Villanova in the A League, so more competitive. And I just hit a 3. We were winning the game, and I went for a steal, and the ball jammed my finger. But not only did it jam it, but it dislocated.
The
so
thumb?
the thumb,
Yeah.
my dominant hand. I'm a righty, and went to the hospital. They popped it back into place. Went on spring break, came back, had an appointment. They said, we want to get you an MRI, and I just found out that I tore my UCL in my thumb.
Damn.
So it's like an ACL to a knee. It's the most important So I'm getting surgery on Tuesday. But, it's life, and you just go with it, and you just understand that there's a greater plan.
We'll be right back, folks. We've got to get the sponsors in on this segment of the show. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Heal up, bro. Man. It's got the Barack and the Tyrese Maxey thing going on, right?
That's a great mix. I like both of them. So, yes. I assume you're a big Sixers fan.
I am.
How do you feel about this season?
Oh, God, it was a train wreck this year.
Yes. I have an NBA podcast, too, so, we talk about this stuff. And
Cool.
yeah, it's frustrating.
Man of many talents.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I know you don't really dabble too much with this one, but he was a junior lawyer himself. He just needs to know if he's doing the right document.
Oy,
And
oy, oy.
there's a claim against Car Shield.
How long have you been playing golf?
How long have you been playing golf?
Yeah, all right. Let me know.
I'm now on the range.
So you must be pretty good. That's good. Very good. Yeah, I've only played a couple of times. I played 9 and 18.
Hi,
This is why
guys.
you want to play. It's going to put you in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? That's the relationship.
Right. Definitely. Definitely.
My bad.
60 seconds.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hey, Dean, just when you rejoin or even at the end of this show, if you just want to push them to YouTube as like a call to action, because we'll probably be doing this weekly. Well, not probably, we will.
Okay.
Except next week. Winston
How do we
is
get
still
there
there
again?
line 2. Because you're off next week, right?
Am I?
How do we get there?
It's just type in R&B Philly. This
Yes.
should pop right up.
Yes, I am off next week.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
I had to start thinking what date. What date?
30.
First week of April.
30 seconds, John.
Boom. And then I'll get Ricky for that. And
Okay.
then you told the one guy, Kenneth
Patrick
Patrick,
Harvey,
but
the dog law guy.
Yes, but you also told Kenneth when he came in January, like he'd come once a quarter. Did you mean that, or were you just being nice? Okay.
We can do it. I mean, not like the very
Okay,
top of the
so-
quarter, but maybe towards the end
Okay.
of the quarter.
Okay, cool.
Stand by.
Good morning and welcome back. I am your host, Dean Weitzman here, right here on Court Radio every Saturday morning, 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 1079.
Derek, let's jump right into line 2, Winston. Winston, we don't have a lot of time, but give us your story as quickly as possible.
Okay, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I had a situation with Car Shield, the automobile warranty company, and I had an attorney on it. Small claim, and so they made an offer, and I accepted the offer, but the stipulations was ridiculous. They wanted me to give up my contract and other things. I said no. I mean, I've been dealing with the company for 4 years, and my vehicle is kind of old. But the money, no problem. But the stipulations, no. So, I mean, and my attorney, he just said, well, he'll return the file to me. So, I mean, what should I do?
Well, I admire the fact that you've dug into this release document well enough to know that there are clauses in there that you're not happy with. Unfortunately, if you don't sign the release, then there's no settlement. If there's no settlement, then your case needs to go to trial. And
Thank you. Yeah.
and now you have to. But now the lawyer is saying, I'm not the one who's going to take this to trial because I've got you a settlement that I stand behind, so to speak, even with all the caveats. So you're going to have to find another lawyer to take your case on and do that in a pretty prompt fashion. So I don't know at what stage you're at. I don't know if it's municipal court, court of common pleas. Municipal court in Philadelphia goes up to, I think, $12,000. If your amount in controversy exceeds that, then you could be in the court of common pleas, where the rules and what you have to do to get your case to trial are a lot more complicated. It's not something you can do probably on your own. I would say how important are those clauses to you? And if they're very important and you just simply won't accept the fact that they've had them in there, then you're going to have to go to trial and get a judgment at some point. And then that judgment will be a money judgment, and they won't be able to enforce these other clauses.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And even with that, everything doesn't have to go to trial. Even if you go in front of a judge, I mean, in the conference, you know, maybe everything could be worked out there, but at least you got to go to the next step.
Yeah, I hear you. But you'll need new counsel to do that, and you should work on that. And if you need a referral, you can shoot me an email to Dean at My Philly Lawyer. And while this doesn't sound like a case that our firm would be handling, there's a lot of these types of cases where I have attorneys that I've already vetted that I'll be able to refer you to. So feel free to take advantage of that. Send me an email, and my team will get you associated with somebody else, possibly. All right?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Winston. Thanks for sharing your story. Folks, we're all out of time. We are here with Dean Millard. Dean, the recipient of the My Philly Lawyers Scholarship, has performed admirably during
Outperformed, maybe?
Yeah, really outperformed during his
it.
college career, and he's about to embark on a law school enterprise. So best of luck to you, Dean.
Thank you.
Amen.
Please come back to the show and show us how you're doing and how the first year was. You're going to have everything you've ever done up to this point. While it prepares you, your eyes will open. You're about to embark on something that is extraordinary.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your continued support. I appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to staying in touch. And I just encourage everyone watching to chase your greatest aspirations, work hard, and you might not see it immediately, but with time and with patience, and like I said, like we've said, with perseverance, you will do it. You will make it.
Folks, you got to check us out on our live feed. Just put in the search bar WRNB, and you'll be brought to the page where you can click on a button to see the show and hear the show live.
We got to start doing hair and makeup now?
YouTube. All right, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. We're out.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
I appreciate it.
Good job.